Scene 6. A room in Polonius's house. Polonius at rest. Enter Ophelia.
How now, Ophelia? What's the matter?
Alas, my lord, I have been so affrighted.
With what?
My lord, as I was sewing in my closet, Lord Hamlet, with his doublet all embraced, no hat upon his head, his stockings fouled, ungartered, and down-jive to his ankle, pale as his shirt, his knees knocking each other, and with a look so piteous and purport as if he had been loosed out of hell, to speak of horrors, he comes before me.
Mad for thy love?
My lord, I do not know, but truly I do fear it.
What said he?
He took me by the wrist and held me hard, then goes he to the length of all his arm, and with his other hand thus o'er his brow, he falls to such a perusal of my face, as he would draw it, long stayed he so. At last, a little shaking of mine arm, and thrice his head thus waving up and down, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound, as it did seem to shatter all his bulk, and end his being that done, he lets me go. And, with his head over his shoulder turned, he seemed to find his way without his eyes, for out of doors he went without their helps, and, to the last, bended their light on me.
Come, go with me. I will seek the king. This must be known.
Excellent. Scene 7. A room in the castle. Enter King, Queen, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, and attendants.
Welcome, dear Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Something have you heard of Hamlet's transformation? What it should be, more than his father's death, that thus has put him so much from understanding of himself I cannot dream of. I entreat you both, that being so of young days brought up with him, that you vouchsafe your rest here in our court, some little time, so by your companies to draw him onto pleasures, and to gather so much as from occasion you may glean, whether aught to us unknown afflicts him thus, that opened lies within our remedy.
For the supply and profit of our hope, your visitation shall receive such thanks as fits a king's remembrance.
We both obey.
I beseech you instantly to visit my too much changed son.
Heavens make our presence and our practices pleasant and helpful to him.
Aye, amen.
Excellent. Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, and some attendants. Enter Polonius.
My good liege, I do think that I have found the very cause of Hamlet's lunacy.
Oh, speak of that I do long to hear.
I doubt it is no other but the main, his father's death and our hasty marriage.
I will be brief. Your noble son is mad. Mad call it. I call it for the define true madness. What it's but to be nothing else but mad.
More matter with less art.
Madam, I swear I use no art at all. That he is mad, 'tis true, 'tis pity. Mad, let us grant him then, and now remains that we find out the cause of this effect. I have a daughter, whilst she is mine, who in her duty and obedience mark hath given me this now gather and surmise.
Reads.
To the celestial and my soul's idol, the most beautiful Ophelia. Doubt the stars are fire, doubt that the sun doth move, doubt that truth to be a liar, but never doubt I love Hamlet. This in obedience hath my daughter showed me, and more above hath his solicitings, as fell out by time, by means and place, have given to mine ear.
But how hath she received his love?
To my young mistress, thus I did bespeak. Lord Hamlet is a prince out of thy sphere. This must not be. And then I precepts gave her that she should lock herself away from his resort, admit no messengers, receive no tokens, and he, repulsed, a short tale to make, fell into a sadness, then into a fast, thence to a watch, and by this declination into a madness wherein now he raves.
You think 'tis this?
It may be, very likely.
Hath there been such a time, I'd fain know that I have positively said 'tis so. when it proved otherwise?
Now that I know, how may we try it further?
You know, sometimes he walks for hours here in the lobby.
So he does, indeed.
At such a time, I'll lose my daughter to him. Be you and I behind and harass then. Make the encounter. If he not love her not, and he not from his reason fallen in thereon, let me be no assistant for a state, but keep a farm and carters.
We will try it.
Scene 8. A room in the castle. Hamlet sits. Enter Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
My honored lord.
My most dear lord.
My excellent good friends, how dost thou, Guildenstern? Ha ha, Rosencrantz. Good lads, how do ye both?
As the indifferent children of the earth.
Happy in that we are not over happy. On Fortune's cap, we are not the very button.
Nor the soles of her shoe.
Neither, my lord.
Well, what make you at Elsinore?
To visit you, my lord, no other occasion.
Were you not sent for? Is it your own inclining? Is it a free visitation? Come, deal justly with me. Come, nay, speak.
What should we say, my lord?
Why, anything, but to the purpose. You were sent for, and there is a kind of confession in your looks which your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the good king and queen have sent you.
To what end, my lord?
That you must teach me. But let me conjure you, by the rights of our fellowship, by the consonancy of our youth, be even and direct with me, whether you were sent for or no.
My lord, we were sent for.
I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery and your secrecy to the king and queen molt no feather. I have of late, but whereof I know not, lost all mirth, forgone all custom of exercises, and indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. What a piece of work is man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving, how express and admirable in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god. The beauty of the world, the paragon of animals, and yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights me not, no, nor woman neither, though by your smiling you seem to say so.
My lord, there was no such stuff in my thoughts.
Gentlemen, you are welcome to Elsinore. You are welcome, but my uncle father and my aunt mother are deceased.
In what, my dear lord?
I am but mad, north-northwest when the wind is southerly. I know a hawk from a handsaw.
Enter Polonius.
Well, be with you, gentlemen. My lord, I have news to tell you.
My lord, I have news to tell you. When Roscius was an actor in Rome.
The actors come hither, my lord, the best actors in the world, either for tragedy, comedy, history, pastoral, comical, historical, pastoral, tragical, historical, tragical, comical, historical, pastoral, scene, indivisible, or poem unlimited. Seneca cannot be too heavy, nor Plautus too light. For the law of wit, and the liberty, these are the only men.
Nay, that follows not.
What follows then, my lord?
Why look where my abridgment comes. You are welcome, masters, welcome, all. I am glad to see thee well. Welcome, good friends. Oh, my old friend, thy face is balanced since I saw thee last. Comest thou to beard me in Denmark? What? My young lady and mistress, by your ladyship is nearer to heaven than when I saw you last by the altitude of a Chopin. Oh, pray God your voice, like a piece of uncurrent gold, be not cracked within therein. Masters, you are all welcome. We'll even to it like French falconers, fly at anything we see. We'll have a speech straight, come. Give us a taste of quality, come. A passionate speech.
What speech, my lord?
I heard thee speak a speech once, but it was never acted, or if it was, not above once. For the play I remember, pleased not a million. 'Twas caviar to the general, but it was, as I received it, and others whose judgments in such matters cried in the top of mine, an excellent play. One speech in it I chiefly loved. 'Twas Aeneas's tale to Dido, and thereabout of it especially, where he speaks of Priam's slaughter. If it live in your memory, begin at this line. Let me see. Let me see. The rugged Pyrrhus, he whose sable arms, black as his purpose, did the knight resemble when he lay couched in the ominous horse, hath now this dread and black complexion smeared with heraldry more dismal. Head to foot with eyes like carbuncles, the hellish Pyrrhus old, grandsire Priam seeks. So, proceed here.
Anon he finds him, striking too short at Greeks, his antique sword, rebellious to his arm, lies where it falls. Repugnant to command, unequal matched, Pyrrhus at Priam drives, in rage strikes wide. But with the whiff and wind of his fell sword, the unnerved father falls. But as we often see, against some storm, a silence in the heavens, the rack stands still, the bold wind speechless, and the orb below. As hush as death, anon the dreadful thunder doth rend the region, so after Pyrrhus' pause, aroused vengeance sets him with newer work, and never did the Cyclops' hammers fall on Mars' armor forged for proof etern, with less remorse than Pyrrhus' bleeding sword, now falls on Priam.
This is too long.
It shall to the barbers with your beard. Prithee, say on, he's for a jig or a tale of bawdry, or he sleeps. Say on, come to Hecuba.
But who, oh who, had seen the marbled queen?
The marbled queen?
That's good, the marbled queen is good.
Run barefoot up and down, threatening the flames, a clout upon the head where late the diadem stood, and for a robe about her lank and all her teemed loins, a blanket. When she saw Pyrrhus makes malicious sport in mincing with his sword her husband's limbs, the instant burst of clamor that she made, unless things mortal move them not at all, would have made milch the burning eyes of heaven and passion in the gods.
Look, whether he has not turned his color and the tears in eyes, pray you no more.
Is well. Good, my lord. Will you see the players well bestowed?
My lord, I will use them according to their desert.
Exit Polonius with all the players but the first.
Dost thou hear me, old friend? Can you play the murder of Gonzago?
Aye, my lord.
We'll have to it tomorrow night. You could, for a need, study a speech of some 12 or 16 lines, which I would set down and insert in it, could you not?
Aye, my lord.
Very well.
Exit first player.
Now I am alone. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I. Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit, that from her working all his visage waned? Tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing. For Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do had he the motive for cue and passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy-mettled rascal, peak like John a dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. My account? Who calls me villain? Breaks my painted cross, plucks off my beard, blows it in my face, drinks me by the nose, gives me the lie, in the throat as deepest of the lungs. Who does me this? Ah! Swoons, I should think of drinking out be. but I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter or wear this. I should have fatted the regent kites with this slave's awful, bloody, bawdy villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, guileless villain! Oh, vengeance! Why, what an ass am I? This is most brave. That I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall a cursing like a very trap, a scullion, fire upon it, blow about my praise. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have, by the very cunning of the scene, been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed the malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak the most miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tempt him to the quick. If he but blench, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil. The devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. Yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
Exit Hamlet. Scene 9. A room in the castle. King, Queen, Polonius, and Ophelia enter.
Sweet Gertrude, leave us, for we have closely sent for Hamlet hither, that he, as 'twere by accident, may here affront Ophelia. The father and myself will do so, bestow ourselves that, seeing unseen, we may of their encounter frankly judge. And gathered by him, he is behaved, if to be the affliction of his love or no, that thus he suffers for.
I shall obey. And for your part, Ophelia, I do wish that your good beauties be the happy cause of Hamlet's wildness. So shall I hope your virtues will bring him to his wonted way again.
Madam, I wish it may.
Exit.
Ophelia, Ophelia, walk you here. Gracious, so please you, we will bestow ourselves. Read on this book, that show of such an exercise may color your loneliness. I hear him coming. Let's withdraw, my lord.
Exeunt King and Polonius. Enter Hamlet.
To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing and die, to sleep no more, and by a sleep to save we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life, or for who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the lost delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietest make to with a bare bodkin. Who would fardels bear, to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will, and makes us rather bear those ills we have that fly to others we know not of. This conscience does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sicklied over with the pale cast of thought, and the enterprises of great pith and moment with their regard, the currents turn awry, and lose the name of action. So do now, the fair Ophelia. Nymph, in thy orisons be all my sins remembered.
Good, my lord. How does your honor for this many a day?
I humbly thank you. Well.
My lord, I have remembrances of yours that I have longed to redeliver. I pray you, now receive them.
No, not I. I never gave you aught.
My honored lord, you know right well you did. And with them, words of so sweet breath composed as made the things more rich, their perfume lost. Take these again, for to the noble mind, rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. There, my lord.
Are you honest?
My lord?
Are you fair?
What means your lordship?
That if you be honest and fair, your honesty should admit no discourse to your beauty.
Could beauty, my lord, have better commerce than with honesty?
Aye, truly. For the power of beauty will sooner transform honesty from what it is to a bawd than the force of honesty can translate beauty into his likeness. This was sometime a paradox, but now the time gives it proof. I did love you once.
Indeed, my lord, you made me believe so.
You should not have believed me. For virtue cannot so inoculate our old stock, but we shall relish of it. I loved you not.
I was the more deceived.
Yeah, get thee to a nunnery. Why wouldst thou be a breeder of sinners? I am myself indifferent honest, but yet I could accuse me of such things that it were better my mother had not borne me. We are errant knaves, all. Believe none of us. Go thy ways to a nunnery. Where's your father?
At home, my lord.
Let the doors be shut upon him, that he may play the fool nowhere but in his own house.
Oh, help
Farewell.
him, you sweet heavens.
If thou dost marry, I give thee this plague for thy dowry. Be thou as chaste as ice, as pure as snow. Thou shalt not escape calumny. If thou will needs marry, marry a fool. For wise men know well enough what monsters you make. To a nunnery go, and quickly too. Farewell.
Oh, heavenly powers, restore him.
I have heard of your paintings too well enough. God has given you one face and you make yourselves another. You dig, you amble, it's been nicknamed God's creatures and make your wantonness your ignorance. Go to. I'll know more on it. It hath made me mad. I say, virgins, those that are married already, all but one shall live. The rest shall keep as they are to a nunnery. Go.
Exit Hamlet.
Oh, what a noble mind is here our throne. The courtiers, soldiers, scholars, eye, tongue, sword, the expectancy and rose of the fair state, the glass of fashion and mold of form, the observed of all observers, quite down, and I, of ladies most dejected and wretched, that suck the honey of his music vows. Now see the noble, most sovereign reason, like sweet bells jangled, out of tune and harsh, that unmatched form and feature of blown youth, blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me, to have seen what I have seen. See what I see.
Re-enter the king and Polonius.
Love, his affections do not that way tend. Nor what he spake, though it lacked form a little, was not like madness. There's something in his soul, o'er which his melancholy sits on brood. And I do doubt the hatch and the disclose will be some danger, which for to prevent, he shall with speed to England. What think of it, you?
It shall do well, but yet do I believe the origin and commencement of his grief sprung from neglected love. How now, Ophelia? You need not tell us what the Lord Hamlet said. We heard it all. My lord, do as you please, but let his queen mother all alone entreat him. To show his grief, let her be round with him, and I'll be placed so please you in the ear of all their conference. If she find him not, to England send him, or confine him where your wisdom best shall think.
It shall be so. Madness in great ones must not unwatched go.
Exeunt. Scene 10. A hall in the castle. Danish march. A flourish. Enter Hamlet, King Claudius, Queen Gertrude, Polonius, Ophelia, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern, and others.
How fares our cousin Hamlet?
Excellent, if babe. The chameleon's dish I eat the air. Promise crammed. You cannot feed capons so.
I have nothing with this answer, Hamlet. These words were not mine.
No, nor mine now.
Come hither, my dear Hamlet. Sit by me.
No, good mother. Here's metal more attractive. Lady, shall I lie in your lap?
No, my lord.
I mean my head upon your lap.
I, my lord.
Do you think I meant country matters?
I think nothing, my lord.
Well, that's a fair thought. To lie between maids' legs.
What is, my lord?
Nothing.
You are merry, my lord.
Oh, God, you're only jig maker. What should a man do but be merry? For look you how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father died within these 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord.
So long? Nay, then let the devil wear black, for I'll have a suit of sables. Oh, heavens! Died 2 months ago and not forgotten yet?
The dumb show begins. Enter a queen and king very lovingly, the queen embracing him, and he her. She kneels and makes a show of protestation unto him. He takes her up and declines his head upon her neck. She lays him down upon a bank of flowers. Seeing him asleep, she leaves him. Anon comes in a fellow, takes off the king's crown, kisses it, and pours poison into the king's ears, and exits. The queen returns, finds the king dead, and makes passionate lamentation. The poisoner comes in again, seeming to lament with her. The dead body is carried away. The poisoner woos the queen with gifts. She seems loath and unwilling a while, but in the end accepts his love gratefully.
Madam, how like you this play?
The lady protests too much, methinks.
Oh, but she'll keep her word.
Have you heard the argument? Is there no offense in it?
No, they do but jest. Poison in jest. No offense in the world.
What do you call the play?
The Mousetrap. Mary, how, tropically, this play is the image of a murder done in Vienna. Gonzago is the Duke's name, his wife Baptista. Begin, murderer, leave thy damnable faces, and begin! Come, the croaking raven doth bellow for revenge. He poisons him in the garden for his estate. You shall see anon how the murderer gets the love of Gonzago's wife.
The king rises.
Give me some light! Away!
Exeunt all in chaos. Scene 11, a room in the castle. Hamlet, apprehended by Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Good, my lord, vouchsafe me a word with you. The queen, your mother, in most great affliction of spirit, hath sent me to you.
Your behavior hath struck her into amazement and admiration.
Oh, wonderful son, that can so astonish a mother. But is there no sequel at the heels of this mother's admiration?
She desires to speak with you in her closet ere you go to bed.
We shall obey. Were she 10 times our mother. Have you any further trade with us?
My lord, you once did love me.
And so I do still, by these pickers and stealers.
Good, my lord, what is your cause of distemper? You do surely bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend.
Will you play upon this pipe?
My lord, I cannot.
I pray you.
Believe me, I cannot.
I do beseech you.
I know no touch of it, my lord.
'Tis as easy as lying. Govern these ventages with your fingers, and thumb, give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops.
But these cannot I command to any utterance of harmony. I have not the skill.
Why, look you now, how unworthy a thing you make of me. You would play upon me. You would seem to know my stops. You would pluck out the heart of my mystery. You would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass. And there is much music, excellent voice in this little organ, yet cannot you make it speak? Sblood, do you think I am easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will, though you can fret me, you cannot play upon me.
Exit. Scene 12. A room in the castle. Enter King, Rosencrantz, and Guildenstern.
I like him not, nor stands it safe with us to let his madness range. Therefore prepare you, I, your commission, with forthright dispatch, and he to England shall along with you.
We will haste us.
Exeunt Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, and enter Polonius.
My lord, he's going to his mother's closet. Behind the arras I'll convey myself. To hear the process, I'll warrant she'll tax him home. I'll call upon your heir. You go to bed, and tell you what I know.
Thanks, my dear lord.
Exit Polonius.
Oh, my offense is rank. Smells to heaven. It hath the primal elders cursed upon it. A brother's murder. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with brother's blood? Is there not enough rain in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Oh, what form of prayer can I serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder. That cannot be, since I am possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. My crown, my own ambition, and my queen. May one be pardoned and retain the offense? O wretched state! O bosom lacketh death, O lying soul that struggling to be free art more engaged! Help, angels! Make essay. How? Bow, stubborn knees. All may be well.
King retires and kneels. Enter Hamlet.
Now, might I do it? Now he is praying, and so he goes to heaven. Am I then revenged to take him in the purging of his soul when he is fit and seasoned for his passage? No. Up, sword, and know thou a more horrid hint, what he is drunk asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasure of his bed, at gaming, swearing, or about some act that has no relish of salvation in it, then trip, that his heels may kick at heaven, and that his soul may be as damned and black as hell, whereto it goes.
And scene.